G'day everybody, and welcome back to the Weedy garden, the little garden on the hill where we try and inspire and encourage you to grow your own food and get connected again. Today we're going to be talking about salve, how to make a salve, and we've got the expert on the channel again. Hi Elle.
G'day everybody.
So we're going to do a little collaboration again today, and we're going to make salves, and salves is how you can transform your herbal medicines in your garden to ointments that you can put on your skin and on your body. Things for bones and muscles and joints and abrasions and cuts and things like that. So we're going to use comfrey again. You want to make sure you get the nice leaves, nice and clean. See, that's a beautiful example of a good, nice, clean leaf. Yeah, and you want to make sure you wait until the dew from the night has left the plant, because we don't want any of that moisture on the plant, okay? We want it nice and dry, okay? And I've got plenty of chickweed growing in my garden. See? I'm going to get a little bit of this as well. So I've got two types of chickweed growing in my garden. This one is the common chickweed, also known as stellaria. And I've got that everywhere in my garden. I don't know if you can see the difference, but we've got another chickweed here. This one is tropical chickweed, also known as dromeria. You can see the difference in the leaves. You can see the difference in the flowers as well. But both of them are growing prolifically in the Weedy garden. See how it's sticky? You can tell the difference between the tropical chickweed. It's sort of little sticky flowers stick all on you. That's the volatile oils in the plant. That's the good stuff. And the last one is the yarrow. See, I've got lots of this chickweed in my garden. It's coming out my ears. So I use it also to chop and drop around my plants. So this is the yarrow. I've only just put this one in not so long ago, so I'm not going to harvest too much. Just need a little bit, so I'll just take this little bit here. And it's the leaves of the yarrow we're going to use in this one today. So I've got all the herbs dried, and it's really important that they're really dry. See the comfrey leaf? See how dry it is? Listen. Look at that. That's what you want. You want it to be nice and dry like that. We don't want any moisture at all. I'll chuck that nice little powdered comfrey in the bowl, and I think what I'll do from here on is I'll let Elle take over. Come in, Elle.
So this is one of my favourite parts of the whole journey. We're taking our beautiful organic produce from our garden and we're bringing it inside to turn it into medicine. So what we're going to do here is we've got all of our beautiful dried herbs, and what we need also is a glass bowl, a little bit of alcohol and a spray bottle, and our glass jar that we're going to put the herbs into. And we also need some olive oil or a carrier oil of your choice, whichever you prefer. There's like many different varieties: sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil, lots and lots of different types. We've also got a crock pot, which we're going to infuse these herbs in for a bit of a hot infusion, which is faster. So chickweed's fantastic for things like dermatitis and eczema. Also yarrow. I've spoken about yarrow a number of times before. It's this amazing antibacterial healer. So it's great for wounds, abrasions and cut skin. Whereas comfrey is great as an anti-inflammatory, and it's also fantastic to help reduce inflammation. So I'm going to put all of these three beautiful herbs together and create one highly medicinal salve. It's important that you chop it up so it's really, really little, so that all of the oil can infuse into the small little parts of the plant matter. And it's also important that it's really, really dry so it doesn't create mold or botulism. You really need to hear that scrunch noise of a completely dry plant. I'm just going to chop up the rest of them now. I'm going to do it the Weedy way. Ready? You can probably use a blender to do this, because the more surface area, the better. So now what we're going to do is something that I learned from a naturopath. That's a bit of a pro tip for herbalists. So what you want to do is you get some vodka, and you've got your vodka into a little spray bottle, and we're going to give those herbs a little bit of loving with the vodka. You don't need to completely drench it. You just want to give them a little bit of a coating, sort of similar to like if you were putting a little bit of olive oil on your salad or something like that. Just a little bit. And that'll help to bring out the alcohol-soluble compounds of these particular plants. So what we're going to do now is we're going to leave this alcohol to seep in for 5 minutes, and we're going to walk away. Ooh, it's looking good. Remember, it's really important to sterilize your bottles before you start. So with these beautiful herbs, I'm going to put them in to around 3/4 of the jar, and you sort of want to have them pushed down like this, and then we're going to put the oil in. I like to use olive oil, and especially good quality Aussie olive oil. I think that kind of makes a difference in really good salves. There's so many different oils that you can use. So you can use things like avocado oil, sunflower oil, almond oil. There's all different types of oils, and they're all many different types of uses. So you can see there's still quite a gap in between the end of your herbs and the top of where your oil is. But you can see how it's bubbling up. So to ensure that we get rid of all of the air gaps that might percolate in underneath the herbs, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake to make sure that any sort of gaps that the oil might not be getting into, we're going to get all of those air bubbles out. Okay, so what we're going to do is to make sure that all of the herbs are completely submerged in oil. So you can see how the herbs have sort of sprung up a little bit, and there's a little bit more space for the oil to permeate through those herbs. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill it completely to the top. Nice. So all of those beautiful herbs are completely submerged. Okay, so we're just going to have a towel on the bottom of the crock pot just to sort of stop the bottom of the bottle actually cooking and not dispersing even heat. So this helps just sort of protect the herbs. We just want to put it in so the bottle's about 3/4 covered. You don't want it too hot because you don't want to damage the plant. So we're going to leave this, and we'll be back in 2 hours and see how it's going. So now we check it after these 2 hours are done. We give it a little bit of a look, and you see that the oil has changed colour. So you'll see when the plant matter has given up all of its beautiful goodness, the oil will be a different colour than when you put it in. Usually it's either browny or it's green, depending on what plants you have in it. So I can see, if you hold it up to light, you should be able to see it's a totally different colour than the oil that you put it into initially. Now I'm going to strain the plant out. So now to melt some wax. So you have to be fairly specific when you're doing salves. You need to actually do it to a recipe. This is a very easy recipe, and I'll link an actual PDF on how to do it. It's in the description. There has to be a specific consistency. So I've got 7.5 grams of beeswax here, and we've got about 60 grams or 1/4 cup of the oil, which we're just going to put in here and melt. I've just used the crock pot here and turned it onto high. Okay, so our wax is all melted. You can see it in the bottom there. You can see it's all liquidy. So now I'm going to add our 1/4 cup of oil. And now I'm going to get this glass jar with a spout on it. A little glass jar that we're going to put our salve into. So we want to put it straight into our little glass jar, nice and quickly. So what you want to do is you wait until this cools down a little bit and solidifies a small amount before you would put in any sort of essential oils that you want to make it smell nice. So my one that I really, really love, I love rose geranium. So I'm just going to put a little bit of rose geranium, maybe, I don't know, 3 drops in, but I'm going to have to wait till it cools down a little bit. Just mixing in the essential oil so it has that beautiful scent. So it seems like a lot of work for just one little salve. If you want to make a whole heap of them and give them away as gifts or keep them for emergencies, of course do that. You can duplicate the recipe. This is a very, very easy basic salve. And then you just put a label on it, everybody, and then you're done. Herbal salve.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming, Elle.
Well, welcome.
Enjoy your lives. Enjoy your gardens, and have a nice day, and we'll catch you later.